Hi Tim, I got your KEG0 computer here, which is a 94 F250 with a 5.8, and we popped the cover off and there's definitely some problems. I can see that you're complaining that the engine cuts out after it warms up and the fuel pump runs all the time when it shouldn't. That is consistent with capacitor problems, and I can see just by looking at these, this thing has those problems. And here's your three capacitors. You can see the stain around that thing, around the base. It's definitely leaking. And this one here is really bad. That one is corroded and leaking, heavily corroded, and I think it might even have a broken leg or really close to breaking. And then this one doesn't look too bad, although I'm sure if we look close enough we'll probably find that it's leaking a little bit or really close to leaking. I don't see any signs of it from here, but it's the same age as the others. It's about to go bad if it isn't already. So it's definitely a great candidate for capacitor replacement. And now on to the bench test. So the 5-volt regulator has 4.98 volts. The green is your fuel pump, the yellow is your check engine light, and red is just an indication of power. So we turn this on. The green pump should run for 1 second, and it does. Check engine light comes on like it should, and then when we go into code pulling mode, this thing should start blinking a trouble code at you right after it does that. Usually a 2-digit code. 1, 1, so code 11, and it'll repeat a whole bunch more codes. But the bottom line is, it is working at this moment, but I think from your paperwork says that it cuts out after it warms up. That doesn't surprise me at all. These capacitors are really bad, and so I would imagine that this thing is on its last legs and maybe sometimes doesn't get the job done. So I recommend that we replace the capacitors, and other than that, it looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I think you're probably going to have great results. We're going to clean up the board a little bit because this acid doesn't just leak under there. If you look at all that brown stain, it's kind of spreading all over the place and even starting to corrode there. You can see above it, as well as major corrosion below it, where it's going to end up eating all these little traces. So I think we got to it in time. That one's pretty rough, though. We're going to have a hard look at that one. So we'll get that done, and then I see that you're looking for maybe some additional tuning on top of that. This is a chip computer, so it doesn't have flash programming. You actually have to build the chip for it. That chip is going to go here, where you see kind of a peanut butter down here. That's a like lithium grease that they put over the pins. So that has to be cleaned up and removed, and the pins have to be scuffed up and prepped so that a chip will make good contact, and then we build a chip to your spec. Okay, that's it. So the before test, it actually is passing at the moment, but I suspect that this thing probably doesn't do so good in the real world, and it'll do great after the repair. All right, have a good day.